What are some easy things that people can make? And again, this is kind of generalizing because everybody is practicing different habits and eating different things, and everyone is where they are on the spectrum. But just from what you see, what are some easy swaps that people can make to have a better balanced diet?
Yeah, well, I think people are adverse to being prepared. They think that they have to meal prep and they have to have like 14 containers of like wet salad and like dried
Steamed
chicken.
broccoli and dried chicken.
Gross.
Yeah.
And you're like, why are you doing that? You don't have to do that. So like I go to the supermarket and I buy like the bag salads and then I split them in two, right? And I never use the packet. I do my own thing. So I'll like get chickpeas and I'll cook them up on a pan and I put them in the fridge and I'll dump half a cup and then I'll add my own nuts and my own feta and my own dressing and then I have a salad for 2 days, or I'll get a can of tuna. I know it sounds disgusting in water, but it's really not. You add the feta cheese and really take you to another level. Yeah, so good. So
like you mix it in with the feta?
Yep. And so
Whoa.
like exactly. People are like, oh, like, yeah. Or like I will roast a chicken on a Monday. My kids are always pissed. They're like, seriously? I'm like, shut up. So we roast the chicken and you have like your vegetables, your, potatoes, fine. And then the next day I like shred the rest of the chicken and I add taco seasoning and then I, make quesadillas or I make tacos. Like you can really do a lot of quick, easy things. You don't have to be making this like these beautiful prepared meals that take like 8 hours. It's like not a thing. Or like, I go to the empanada shop down the block because my kids like it and I buy the empanadas and then I just put vegetables on the side and I'm like, here's dinner or lunch. Or, I take chicken tenders and I make chicken tenders for my kids and I make this really great one. And sometimes they put it on salads and sometimes they just put it in their thermos to go to lunch. There are a lot of tricks. You don't need to be making meals and prepping all day on Sunday. You just have to be prepared. And so you need shopping lists. And so you can, you have the bag salads, you have the fruit, you cut up vegetables. Vegetables don't have to be roasted broccoli. Like you can cut up cucumbers and carrots and put them on the side of your plate and eat that. You can, I have a bag of frozen turkey meatballs from Wegmans and we might be eating those later. Like, so convenience foods are out there and they're just as good and you should use them.
Yeah, not that anybody asked, but I'm with you. Like, I think that people see my recipes and think that I'm cooking all the time. Sometimes I do. And like, I don't have kids and I, have autonomy in my schedule and my career. So I can make the time. But usually I'm kind of doing a version of that where like I'm putting chicken thighs in the Instant Pot and then I'm shredding it up or something. And then I'm making a thing of rice, like my bone broth rice. And then I'm putting a bunch of vegetables on a sheet and roasting them. And then that's dinner. And then that's lunch the next day. And the vegetables are with like an egg for breakfast. And then it's more dinner for that night because to your point, you can use it. And I think that like, that is a misconception, like preparation. We think of like meal prep, like gym bro meal prep.
Yeah.
And
also that gym bro meal prep is also gross.
Yeah.
It has like no flavor. So there's that problem.
But I feel like so many people are like, okay, I have, breakfast and dinner, but then like I fall apart on lunch or like I don't know what to snack on. And I always say like preparation is so key because I just know for myself, like if I'm not, and then I'm reaching for crap
or like ordering crap. And people just don't realize like, yes, it's work. My flex, I hope one day I can hire a chef. And even when I hire the chef, I just want that person to literally just make my dinner. Just make my dinner. Just make my dinner and clean my kitchen and that's it. And make sure that my kids eat this dinner. That's all I want. I can make my own breakfast. But yes, like I take the vegetables and I put it on the eggs and you have it for the week. It's not anything special. You just have to do the work.
It's not sexy, unfortunately.
Girl, I tell you all the time, I'm like, I'm not the sexy boyfriend. I'm the stable one.
Yeah. We're not making a goldfish from scratch here. Like, what's her name? Nora?
Yeah. It's so crazy.
She's so smart. That girl is so smart. She knows exactly what she's doing.
Yeah, because you're like, oh, but it just makes us all feel bad about ourselves, right?
Yeah.
It's like my mom. My mom will be like, oh, you're making the kids empanadas, but you didn't make your own bread for the empanada. I'm like, lady, no. The Goya discos, just as good. Like she's like, oh, well, you obviously don't love your kids enough. I'm like, obviously. Yeah. You make it for them then, right? It's like more convenience. That's what it's there for, but just the right convenience stuff.
And I think just to like, what's the lift the veil a little bit or the curtain? I don't know if that's the right phrase, but on so many of these food accounts, where you think that this is what people are just doing. Like, no, it's a business. And that girl she doesn't always talk like that. Like, she didn't start making food like that. I'm sure she has a whole production team. They plan it out, and she knows that it's like incendiary. It gets people so upset. Like, social media, you have to make somebody feel something in order for them to engage with your content. And she either makes people feel jealous or outraged because who can do this?
Jealous.
And look, I mean, her business, like, so people need to, I think, keep that in the back of their mind when they're consuming content.
I know. It's like, there's another influencer that I know that used to live in town. I like her very much. And she basically it's the same thing. That her husband quit his job to like work with her. They just pump out food content all day long. Like, and they have a lot of help from their parents. And that's it. Like, that's what they do. It's kind of like when you see these dietitians too. They're like, look at this food that I make and I eat. And I'm like, that person doesn't eat. I actually know this person. That person does not eat anything. Their skin is so gray. It is really sad. But like, yes, they're making you feel so jealous that they are making all this beautiful food and they're so thin. And look at, they're eating pasta. And I'm like, that person has never eaten pasta in their life. I'm positive. And so like, that is also like a pervasive, shitty thing. Because then people are like, oh, well, if that person is doing that, then I should be able to do that too. And I was like, no, it's bullshit. It's all a lie.
Yeah, I know like recipe creators, I mean, they eat the food, I'm sure, but they're making so many recipes a day because it's a job.
Yes,
and whenever I film recipes, it's like on Sunday, I'm like, okay, I'm going to do like this, and this recipe. And it's like, that's not what I'm eating in the entire day. It's like
that one recipe content person that I'm friends with, when she lived in town, she would give me food. She would be like, hey, she would give us all like, hey guys, do you want food? And it wasn't because she's weird and not eating it. It's because it's like, too much.
Mm-hmm.
At that time, it was just her and her husband and like one baby. So who was going to eat it?
Yeah. Yeah. So don't feel bad, whoever's listening.
Yeah. Don't feel bad. You're a regular
what you
person.
are or
We're
aren't
all
doing.
Regular.
Yeah.